Hi, it's Jenny with Jenny's Wreath Boutique, and in this video I'm going to be making multiple wreaths for summer and into fall. I have a bunch of leftover supplies, surprise, surprise, and I wanted to show you how I make different wreaths using up leftover supplies. And I'm also cleaning out my garage by doing this and slowly moving fall into my wreath room. It's officially summer, so that means it's time to make wreaths for fall if you sell them. The first wreath I'm going to be making is with these pears. I completely forgot I had these pears, so I'm going to be using this beautiful, beautiful mix to make a summer pear wreath. And I've kind of been hoarding these because they're so pretty, but it's time I use them up. And these colors are so great for late summer and fall. So, so pretty. For the first wreath, we're going to be using a 14-inch grapevine. Got a couple different kinds of greenery, salal and some laurel. I like the salal because it looks a lot like the pear leaves. And I don't need a lot because the pear leaves are very leafy, but I want this to be a really fluffy wreath for summer and into fall. So I'm using my hot glue gun, and my favorite wire cutters. All of my favorite tools that I use for pretty much every wreath are linked in the description below under tools. I get that question all the time. They're always linked in the description under tools if you want to know the exact things I use. So I'm just going to start. I'm going around the outside of the wreath, and then I will move back inside. This wreath is actually going to be about 23 or 24 inches in diameter when finished from leaf tip to leaf tip, even though it's made on a 14-inch grapevine. We're sticking the leaves pretty far out. Now I'm just going to fill in the middle a little bit. And this is not the prettiest grapevine I'm working with, so this is why I chose a full coverage style for this. Now I've got my two laurel leaves. If you want to know where I get all of my wreath making supplies, I do have a cheat sheet. It's free. I list my favorite places, both retail and wholesale. If you haven't grabbed that yet, it is a great resource and it's linked in the description. Quality of these is amazing, by the way. I love them. I'm going to save these for later. I've got berries and some Queen Anne's lace, but I've got a lot of pears, and this is going to fill up most of the wreath. And I have some extra greenery from the pears too, from previous pears. And I'm going to tie that branch down because it's kind of large. Now I'm going to fill in with all the pear leaves. Now that we've added all the leaves, the wreath is much more rounded out and full. So now we're going to add our berries. Got 2 stems of the berries. And these have a nice leaf with them too. Now for finishing touch, we're going to add some Queen Anne's lace for that pop of white. I throw these leaves away because the quality is not good. I buy these for the flowers. All right, here is our first wreath. Isn't this gorgeous? I love the pears. They're so fun. So cute for summer and into fall. For this next wreath, I'm going to be using a bunch of these flowers, and I actually don't have much greenery to go with them. This is going to be a very floral heavy wreath. And I'm using a 14-inch grapevine, already cleaned up. The first thing I'm doing is separating out my peonies because they've got those good leaves, which will provide really nice coverage for our wreath. So here's my peonies. I only have 3, and then I'm going to move on to roses. Because I'm keeping these leaves, they look really nice. I'm actually going to separate them from the stem. And then I'll cut these. They can stay. I'm going to use these leaves as my greenery base. So I'm using the stems of some old florals. I call it my tulip trash because these are mainly from tulips in the spring. And I make my own stems with them. So I'm just going to glue all the stems to a pick so they go into the wreath nicely. Just going to add in my leaves. Now we're going to move on to our roses and do the same thing. They even have a thorn. Ooh, just kidding. Now we're going to add in our roses. These are the same. I left them as a bundle, so I'm just going to put them right across from each other. We have some smaller roses and then some ranunculus. Now we're going to fill in with the smaller flower clusters. These are going to add some fun texture to the wreath. I am going to take the leaves off. Okay, here is the final wreath and I love it so much. So cute. Two totally different wreaths. What do you think? If you enjoyed this, please hit that thumbs up button and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't done that yet. And I will see you in the next video. Bye!